morgue delivers a beautiful female corpse. The man yanks off her black jacket and is just about to cut her suspenders when the corpse suddenly opens her eyes and she asks where this is. Elliot tells her, "You're dead." But how can a dead person talk? The woman thinks she's still alive. Elliot stepped aside and took out the death certificate from the hospital, which stated the cause of the woman's death, and that the cause of death was severe internal injuries. The woman then recalled that last night, because of a quarrel with her boyfriend, in a fit of anger drove away, and racing in a rainstorm had a car accident, and when she woke up she was declared dead, with fear in her eyes. The woman asked Elliot to let her go and promised not to tell anyone about the incident. Elliot did not respond and began to treat the woman's wounds. The woman asked in horror why she couldn't move and couldn't feel a trace of pain. Elliot said, "Because you were dead. How can a dead person feel pain?" Then he took out a tube of yellow potion, saying it would prevent muscle stiffness. The syringe was stuck into the woman's neck, and Elliot told him your mother was coming. After injecting the drug, Elliot covered her with a white cloth. Not long after, the woman's mother came to the morgue in a wheelchair and watched her dead daughter shed tears as she said her final goodbyes to her daughter. Elliot also promised to fix her grooming after the burial. At night, the woman woke up again, still convinced that she was not dead. She felt for a pulse and touched her neck, but she could not feel her body temperature at all. The woman picked up the phone and tried to call for help, but the phone did not work. She came to the door and tried to get out, but the door was locked long ago. No matter how she called, there was no response. At the same time, the woman's boyfriend arrived here. He wanted to take one last look at his girlfriend. Elliot looked a little nervous when he saw him through the glass. He rushed out to meet him and also refused his request to see the woman on the grounds that he was not an immediate family member. That's when the woman in the house heard her boyfriend's voice and she started calling out his name. But the soundproofing of the house was so good that the boyfriend outside the house did not hear the sound, and finally had to leave in sadness. When Elliot returned to the house, the woman questioned him. Why not let her boyfriend see her? Elliot told her with a serious face, "You are now a dead person and should break off all ties." Elliot advised her to accept reality, and before he left he asked the woman's height, said he was going to help her prepare the coffin, and finally turned off the lights and left. After Elliot left, the woman found a pair of scissors. She began to observe her surroundings. When Elliot returned again, she hid the scissors behind her, and when Elliot wasn't looking, she slashed through the scissors, then ran to the door and tried to escape, but the door was locked early. Elliot approached her, and the woman raised the scissors in her hand again. A female body raised the scissors in her hand. Instead of being afraid, the man walked towards her. He grabbed the woman's hand and moved closer to his neck. The woman was a little confused. She was not afraid to do it at all. The woman explained that she was still breathing and that the doctor might have misdiagnosed her. Besides, how can a dead person talk? But Elliot tells her that the reason you can talk is not that you are not dead, but that I have the gift of communicating with spirits. Then Elliot tells the woman that in 2 days it will be your funeral. You can say goodbye to this world. Elliot then closed the door and left. The woman felt scared and she began to destroy everything in the house. Elliot came back again and found the house in a mess, but he did not get angry, but instead prepared the woman's birthday suit. But the woman did not die. She still felt alive. When Elliot wasn't looking, the woman stole the key. When he had something to go out, the woman rushed to use the key to unlock the door, but there are too many keys. She tried many times. No effect at all. Even accidentally broke the key. On the other hand, Elliot found the key missing in the supermarket. He immediately alerted, rushed back to the car. The woman opened the basement door and escaped, and was about to escape from the villa when Elliot returned. She hurriedly hid and found a phone to call her boyfriend right on the second floor. But the boyfriend received the phone and thought it was a prank, and hung up directly. That's when Elliot found the woman. He took the woman to a mirror, pulled off the white cloth on it, and let her look at herself. The woman looked at herself in the mirror, which is never a living person should have the skin color. At this moment, the woman realized that she might really be dead. She accepted this fact and let out a long sigh, but did not notice the mirror appeared foggy. Elliot blushed and wiped off the marks when the woman wasn't looking. The woman did not notice, and the scene was seen by a child downstairs. He is the woman's student. The next day the boyfriend goes to the school to help the woman sort out her belongings, and the boy tells her about it. The man sensed that something was wrong and he drove to Elliot's house again. This time he barged in despite the objections, shouting his girlfriend's name and even frantically slamming the door. The girlfriend doesn't respond when she hears him. She now decided that she was a soul without a body. Elliot warned him to call the police if he didn't leave, and the man had to leave for the time being. He comes to the police station to get help from a friend who knows of a drug that can put people into a false state of death, but his friend thinks he is just overly sad and advises him to calm down. At the funeral, the woman said she had so many regrets. Once every day except work is off, living the life of the walking dead. She had wanted to change, but did not have the courage. Elliot asked her what you would do if you were given another chance, and opened the door to let her go. The woman went to the door and flinched. She did not have the courage to face it all, and was even glad she was dead. The woman lay in the coffin, waiting for the funeral to come. Today is the woman's funeral. Elliot intended to inject her with the potion. The woman wanted to see herself one last time before she was buried. Elliot helped her get a mirror. Looking at her beautiful self in the mirror, the woman lamented that this was the end. She sighed with relief, and the mirror instantly fogged up. She suddenly felt wrong. How could a dead person exhale hot air? The woman realized she wasn't dead yet, but it was too late. Elliot injected the potion into her neck and the woman fell into a coma. The funeral arrives as scheduled, and the mother is grief-stricken to see her dead daughter. The boyfriend came to the funeral to see the woman one last time. He took out the diamond ring he had prepared and put it on the woman's hand. Elliot watched nervously from the sidelines. Suddenly the woman's lips moved a little, but the boyfriend did not notice anything. Finally he gave the woman a deep kiss to say goodbye. Elliot was worried about revealing the breach and closed the coffin immediately after the funeral. He then returned home and put the woman's picture on the wall, where it was full of pictures of the victim. Elliot persecuted countless people in this way. The woman was buried alive in this way. When she woke up it was too late. She desperately banged on the coffin and shouted for help, but no one could hear. The man at the reception was so grief-stricken that he tried to numb himself with alcohol. At this point Elliot came forward and told the man that your girlfriend may not be dead and that you need to find out the truth for yourself. The man is furious and pulls Elliot by the collar, calling him a madman. He hurriedly left the reception and drove to the cemetery. Alcohol numbed his brain. He did not even look at the speed of the car, and did not care if there would be a car accident. When the man arrived at the cemetery, he plucked the dirt from the coffin and finally rescued his girlfriend. Just as the two are happy, the scene suddenly shifts and the man appears on the operating table. Elliot tells him you are dead. It turns out that saving his girlfriend was his fantasy. He was driving when he had a car accident, and the car accident was arranged by Elliot. The man becomes Elliot's prey. The film ends here. I give you an analysis of the film. Elliot treats himself as the god of death, specializing in punishing those who waste their time and do not appreciate life. He has persecuted countless people with this routine. The film is suspenseful and thrilling, but also a warning that people should know how to cherish and love life.